Become Legend is a tabletop role-playing game that may include elements of violence, substance abuse, mental illness, emotional trauma, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Become Legend, an Ultramodern 5 actual play exclusively on the Free Forge. Thank you so much for tuning into our YouTube and joining us and hanging out. It is much appreciated. I hope you are all doing well. In our last match of Become Legend, Niche, Arch, Io, and Reggie went into Heimerdinger's workshop with Echo to discuss the new intel that had been brought to the Firelights, while Nemo hung back after discovering that his uncle and aunt were alive, well, and part of the resistance group of Zon. As the group swapped stories with Heimerdinger about their capture and eventual escape from Stillwater Hold, Heimer informs them that sources he still holds in Piltover bring whispers of war, that Swain, Singed, and Casker are all working together, and that the conquering nation of Noxus appears to be involved. Stating that the group of champions may well have been brought together through fate or some other mysterious happenstance, Heimer requests that they stick together and bring down this nefarious trio that seems to have the rule of both the City of Progress and the Undercity in mind. After bonding further over some of the reasons why members of this patchwork team have vengeance or redemption on their minds in regards to Singed, they all agree that staying united to defeat this threat is in the best interest of everyone. After the meeting, as our champions return to their resting area in the camp, Niche has a quick vision of Wolf whispering to her that they will be speaking very soon, and then discovers the Hextech pistol that Nemo had taken from the enforcer in the sewer, along with a note. Nemo, not handling the newfound information that he is not the only one remaining of his tribe, tells Niche in the letter of his departure, leaving kind words to her and the other champions. Arch and Reggie have a warming heart-to-heart afterwards, as Niche and Io go to explore a little bit before bedding down for the night, and finding themselves a bit too much to drink before finding rest. During the night, Arch dreams he is with Sosin, and is taken to a vision where he sees the demise of his husband on the bridge, discovering that Reggie and Singed both may have played a part in the untimely death of his beloved, but awakens to the memory altered with no recollection of Reggie's involvement. The rest of the group comes to consciousness with some feeling better than others, and after a quick use of her skills, Niche is able to cure Io of a nasty hangover. The champions then headed back to Heimer to let him know that they will go to Singed's workshop, and together hopefully bring the conflict to an end, while Echo leads another group into Piltover proper to assess just how bad things have gotten topside. Heimer requests that the group try to bring back some finished blueprints or prototypes of devices him and Singed were working on together before parting ways. and it is here where our next match begins. As Echo leaves the room, and as Heimerdinger kind of goes back to his work, leaving you all to your own devices, you hear the metal thwang of Heimer hitting some piece that he is working on with a hammer or some type of tool. And Reggie, that thwang echoes. And you hear it again. Ting! And again. Ting! Getting louder, reverberating, your vision begins to blur. Ting! Ting! And you are suddenly rushed back and brought. And as you look around, you appear to be on the summit of some type of mountain. Taking in the sight, you seem to be overlooking, and there is nothing but darkness and snow. Though you're not cold exactly, you kind of peer over your shoulder and notice the entrance to a cave on the top summit of this mountain that you're in. A warm amber light glowing in from the cave. As you're kind of looking around, make a history check for me.
It's a 16.
16. There's something familiar about this place, though you can't quite put your finger on it. Perhaps not exactly where you are now, but the environment itself. What would you like to do?
And pretty much all I could see is this cave opening.
Cave opening to your back, out to your front is vast, dark blue. It appears to be night. You can see several stars shining in the sky, the moon full, big and bright. And
Well, I'm gonna turn around and head towards the cave opening.
you still hear the constant melodic ting, ting. And as you head into the cave, the sound gets louder and begins to echo off of the unfinished walls around you. And you walk into this space that opens up into a larger space that doesn't seem to suit what the exterior looked like. Like, it looks bigger on the inside, much bigger on the inside than it did on the outside. And you are instantly warmed, not hot to the point of sweating, but that like cozy warm that you get under the covers on a cold night as you enter this space. And you see a large, huge, probably 25 feet by 30 or 40 foot anvil. And standing behind it is this probably 50-foot figure with a large hearth and fire backlighting them, so they kind of look like a silhouette at the moment. And they seem to just be rhythmically pounding on something on the anvil, hitting it with a hammer.
Excuse me.
Oh, you have come. I wondered when you might. And a final ting, 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 ting. And there's a bright spark, a flash that kind of makes you cover your eyes, and you get the phosphorescence sparks, the little bubbles after a bright flash of fireworks or something when you look at a light for too long. And as your vision kind of clears, there is now just that figure that you remember from Jinx's hideout is now your size, standing in front of you, the anvil still large and massive in the background as they kind of approach you. And
I remember you, but where am I? But
you are home. Though not your home for quite some time, I felt with everything that has happened to you, it might be nice to remember where you came from. And this large ram-like figure, the stout body, wide almost as he is tall, the large horns protruding from his head, the smoke that kind of wisps out of his mouth with every breath, almost like he's on fire on the inside, starts shuffling towards you. Though shrunken down mostly to your size, still huge in comparison to you, and kind of forcefully like puts his arm around you and starts leading you back out of the cave, bringing you along with him. You still have a long way to go, and though some of your companions are drawn by other forces, it is the power of this place that sustains you. And you will need it now more than ever for what you are about to face. And as you walk back out into the cold, you are still wrapped in this warmth. The heat given off by this individual is massive and immense. And as you look down now, you can see clear, as almost as if the clouds had cleared from around the summit of the mountain, and you see little lights dotting around the base of this mountain.
I haven't thought about this place in a long time.
You were quite young when you were taken from our basin. Set on a path that wasn't your choice, as happens with all mortals.
It hasn't been a bad life, though.
That is good to hear. Come. And he continues walking right to the cliff, and right as you're starting to get nervous about plummeting down this summit, the landscape instantly changes, and you're now in the middle of a street in a town. Looking up, you see the mountain that you were just on the summit of. And you see crude architecture, lots of homes built out of stone. It's not warm, but it's beautiful in its own way, and reminds you of your childhood as you grew up in a village much like this at the summit of Mount Targon.
Why did you bring me here?
To remind you of something you have struggled with for many years. That your power does not come from your position, nor does it come from those who respect you, but that it comes from something much bigger and greater. That it comes from the sun. And as Orin starts to look up, you see rapid movement, the clouds moving, the moon shifting down, the sun coming up, and all of a sudden it's daytime. The sun blazing down on this magnificent mountain that you spent not very much of your life, but a little bit of. This is where your power comes from. And pokes you on the chest, and you feel this reverberation go through your body. And from here. Not from them. Not from a position. But within yourself and where you are from. You forgot that. It's time to remember.
I don't really have much in my life these days, so I don't really have a choice but to remember now, do I?
That you learn to be happy with what you have and not with what you could get. And you see around you, the people here don't appear to have much. There's no great towers, there's no grand citadels, but as you two are walking, unbeknownst to the rest of the world around you, you see children running down the street playing with their friends. You see mothers carrying babies, laughing with their husbands. You see husbands and husbands holding hands and walking down the street. A cacophony of laughter and joy and happiness all around you, with no splendor, no money, none of those possessions that you'd grown accustomed to in your grand life in Piltover before your fall from grace. And just as you're kind of starting to feel at home, you continue walking, Orn, with his arm around you, and you find you're back in the cave. And the anvil and hearth and everything much smaller now. And he guides you over to the anvil. This is for you to remember. And atop of the anvil is a chain with an amulet on the end of it. And he kind of picks it up in his large hand and hands it over to you.
I'm supposed to not worry about material things, and then you give me something? What is this?
For you to remember. Fight for those that care about you. Don't fight for power. And he picks that, you see him grab the hammer from his side belt and hits the anvil, and that ting, ting, ting reverberates, and you get all your sensory overload happens again, and you're back in Heimerdinger's workshop.
Am I still holding the chain?
Yep.
Is it like a necklace?
Yeah. It's like a pendant, and as you kind of look over it, it seems to be a pendant that is like a gold circle with a single flame in the middle. Very, very, like, nondescript, not flashy by any means. Obviously very well crafted from what you can tell just on a cursory glance. You'll need to do some more investigating into it before you know exactly what it might be useful for, but
I'm just gonna kind of awkwardly look around and then just kind of...
It almost seems as if it was like mid-stride, the last, like, almost as if as soon as Heimerdinger hit the metal, this had happened, and he's just raising the hammer back, and it goes back to just that regular ting, and everybody kind of seems to resume as if time had stopped.
Just gonna kind of look at it for a sec, and then just kind of make sure it's positioned okay and pretend like nothing happened. Maybe just kind of put my hand on Arch's shoulder, just give it a little squeeze, and see what's going on.
Arch just kind of looks over and just kind of half smile and like winks at you back.
Well, what are we doing? What's going on right now?
That is a very strange question to just ask out of nowhere, Reggie. You've been right here with us the whole time, but you know what? It's been a weird day. Heimer, what are you working on in such a hurry?
Arch whispers over to Reggie real quick. Don't worry, I've been totally lost too.
I am just trying to put the finishing touches on a new defensive unit that could possibly help bring down the amount of people that we lose through the needless fighting, should we not be able to stop it. I'm working on a few other things, but I need those devices or blueprints from the workshop if possible. Otherwise, it might take me longer than the time that we have to complete any of them.
Well, if they're there, we're gonna find them. That's for sure.
We don't
And I think-
accidentally burn them.
That too.
That would not be ideal. I would, and kind of like focusing on you, Niche. I would very much appreciate if you didn't burn down the whole city.
Oh, not the whole city for sure, but we will. And we'll also make sure to grab anything from Singer's workshop that might be helpful to you and honestly to us and everyone else who faces this stain that approaches the city.
And
Yes,
break
I-
everything else.
Am hoping that the whispers and rumors that I've heard are wrong, and Echo is going to come back and let us know that somewhat of whoever remains from the council is still intact and is working on a plan to stop all of this nonsense infighting and hopefully return the peace to Zahn and Piltover now that Silco is dead.
Have you ever faced actual war before?
My child, I'm over 356 years old. I have seen far more war and needless death than I would wish on anybody in life. That is why we started these cities in the first place. Though they weren't
And
cities
I-
at the beginning.
I admire your ability to continue hoping in such shit circumstances. I will continue to take a more grounded approach, and perhaps reality will meet us somewhere in the middle, if we're lucky.
And also, the topside folks haven't really been too kind in helping us down here. So, they might be looking out for themselves, I'm sure, trying to rebuild the council or whatever, but I think this might have to be left up to us.
And of looking at each one of your faces in turn, Heimerdinger gets a little bit of a smile. Well, I see people from both sides, top and bottom, and from far away. And I believe that if anybody can hopefully restore the things to the way they should be, that it could be the four of you. With Echo's help, of course. He's not here, but make sure if you're recounting this that you tell him I included him. He's been quite kind to me.
He hasn't been kind to me, but okay.
Wonder how much of that you might bring on yourself, my boy.
What?
Anyway, I will get back to work and hopefully see you soon and unharmed.
Right, it's about time we headed out.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll be back.
I do hope so, Reginald. And kind of puts his welding helmet back down and sparks up a welder and starts going back in. Niche, you can roll a engineering check for me if you'd like.
Oh, let's go. Natural 20.
Oh, snap.
allowing
The bat.
To make
20s
this
in the
overall
chat.
A 28.
As you're kind of like, everybody else is kind of like walking back out towards where you'll need to go. You kind of are taking half steps and peering back as you go. And it appears to be some sort of turret device that Heimerdinger is working on. You're not entirely sure. The craftsmanship seems incredible, given the tools and scrap metal and whatnot that he has to work with. But if you had to base a guess, you would say it's some sort of automated firing mechanism is what he appears to be working on.
I think Niche wraps Knuckle against maybe a blueprint or a note or some kind of diagram that he has off to the side of what he's working on, and just nods with a bit of a just a wry smile before heading off and finding the rest of the group. Clearly impressed. Of course, she looks up to Heimer.
So all of you, I would actually say probably Niche and Arch would know that during the last several years, actually, no, Niche wouldn't know this. Arch, you would probably be the only one to know. Roll me a history check really quick.
All right, history, my strong suit. That's sarcasm. 9.
Luckily, it was a very low DC because I know you. Do you want to use it? You've got 4 summoner spells. Do you want to use any?
Let's use one. Let's go to 10.
Use one. Okay, sweet, because that was the DC. So,
okay.
Use 1 summoner spell to meet the DC.
Thank you, Chad, for those summoner spells.
Knowing that you have been indebted to a lot of people in this city, the late Silco is definitely one that you have crossed paths with, probably been roughed up by his goons several times, and know that after the fall of I can't remember his name.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
I can't remember it
Yep. I should have had my notes ready. It's
hair,
fine.
The muscles,
Yep.
the fists.
Yep. After the fall of Vander, Silco took over the last drop, and it was reported that somewhere in that area in the facility behind the bar in the back tucked away was likely where it was heard. You'd probably seen this singed individual a couple times when you were in the back room doing shady, nefarious dealings or whatnot. And it's reasonable to believe that any laboratory that he might have might be located somewhere in that area.
All right. With that info, brief aside, would Arch have also noticed the new jewelry that Reggie
Make an insight check.
is donning? Insight.
Did you just put it on, Reggie, or did you like tuck it away?
Not really. No, just kind of. Reggie's still wearing his coat, so it's like
Okay.
it's there, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. What was your insight check, Arch?
You're not gonna believe, but I took a picture. It's a natural 20.
When it matters, 1s and 2s. When it doesn't matter, natural 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
won't.
a total of 21.
You definitely notice that Reggie has a new necklace on.
All right. So as walking, is like, there was this one time, this really strong, mean, scary looking lady with this like crazy arm took me in the back of this place called The Last Drop, and I don't think it's called that anymore because it was like dropping apart in pieces the last time I saw it, but she kind of roughed me up a bit, and I do remember that there was like seeing Singed back there, and I overheard somebody talking, because you got to keep your ears open, about him possibly having a hideout back in that corner. Maybe we should try and start there. It seems Singed was hanging out with Silco and his goons, and it might be a great starting point.
I mean, I don't have any better leads.
Great. That, I mean, sounds like a starting. I mean, like I said, a starting point. Like, what else are we gonna do? I mean, I could throw some dice and we can pick, like at random. Like, if it lands on a 6, we could go to this place. If it lands on a 1, we could go.
Oh, Arch. I don't think we want to leave this one up to the dice.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I
probably right.
do.
Oh,
I knew you would be down for that, IO.
I don't know if I have time to treat your face for what dice typically do to it.
All right, that's fair. So last drop, we can maybe grab a shot before we go and wreck some shop. Shop. I'm trying, okay? I'll work on that. I'll work on that. It'll get better
was
with
very
drinks.
good.
Thanks, Reggie. By the way, kind of like scooch in a little close. Yeah, you know me. I mean, when we were running through the thing, the first thing I saw was that Julian hat, and I was like, oh, if I see something stylish, it catches my eye like that, and I couldn't help but notice the new bling. Oh, where'd you pick that up? You got me one?
I just I've had it in my pocket ever since I met you, and I just figured it was time to put it on. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of people. Reminds me.
Make a
of the
deception
less
check.
Material things.
Can I
What's
make
that?
an insight check?
Make a deception check for me, Reggie. Yes, you can definitely make an insight check, Arch.
Shit. No way.
Deception?
Yeah.
Is it a natural 20?
No, it's not. I'm trying to get a gauge of if you rolled well.
Can Nish
I'm not
also
gonna
roll
show
on
you.
this?
Sure. Go ahead, Nish. Reggie,
Okay.
do you want to use any of your 26 summoner spells?
Yes, I do.
Sure.
Yes, I do. So I got a 16. So I'm gonna use 7.
7? Okay.
I got a dirty 20.
So I think that brings you to a 23, right? 24?
Me?
Yeah,
16 plus 7 is 23.
23. Yeah, 23. Sorry, I was right the first time. Arch, what was your insight?
Dirty 20.
Okay. And Nish?
Nish leans over to Io and whispers, I do not know completely what is going on between the two of them, but it is only tangentially related to this necklace. Nish gets only a 19.
I do want to know what's in his pockets, though.
I'm sure you could figure it out. It does fall in your skill set, we could call it.
I could try.
So,
Later.
Arch, yeah. Obviously, Reggie just decided to put this on today. You have no reason to doubt him. He's always been honest and truthful with you, so.
No. That really touches my heart. I have something similar, and I'll kind of show the pendant. I know you've seen it before. I kind of it moves around. It does some crazy stuff. So, but yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge it looks good on you.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was feeling a little inspired by your pendant. Just kind of reminded me. I can see why you wear it. It feels good. I don't think mine does the same things that yours does, but it feels nice to have something, you know?
Oh yeah, and now we're pendant pals.
That's what they call us from now on. Pendant pals.
And he'll reach up and just kind of go over the chin. He's like, pendant pal. And then turn around and just kind of start walking to the last drop.
So as you collectively, as champions, move out of the firelight, encampment, taking the paths that were designated to you by members of the group so that the location is not found. You come out onto the streets of Zon, and I'll get everybody to give me a perception check as you get back into the actual Undercity.
$18 for me.
23?
Okay. Io?
22.
Okay. And Niche? Oh,
13.
there we go. So as you kind of integrate yourselves into the normal flow of traffic, it wasn't really a high DC. The first thing, especially Io and Reggie, that you pick up is there's traffic to begin with. There appears to be people moving down the streets. There appears to be shops open that you can see. There appears to be a distinct lack of fear, a lack of isolation, and Io, you would notice this the most. No enforcers arresting people or anything like that, almost as if the Undercity has returned to somewhat kind of facet of normalcy. Is there anything anybody's doing right away, or are you just moving to the last drop?
I think as we're walking towards the last drop, Arch would just be kind of like, periodically when it comes to certain corners or certain buildings, he'll kind of like nudge Reggie and be like, okay, and see, that alley is where I got beat up the first time I went to see Niche. And then that building is where like it got really scary and I got stabbed in the shoulder and then I had to go see Niche again.
Well, while you're doing this, Arch, give me a survival check to see if you can navigate to the last drop easily enough.
You told me that the first time you were hit by a chair at that place and Niche Point somewhere different. And then the next time you told me that somehow someone like taped a knife to a chair and you got stabbed by a chair at that place.
That's exactly
Arch,
what happened.
You can roll the survival check with advantage as Niche is helping you.
Sweet.
And you've both spent considerable time in the Undercity.
Well, that was much better. Thank you, Niche, for jostling those memories out. You're absolutely right. You can, and he like dead serious looking at Reggie, never trust a chair. Total 19.
Okay. You're able to navigate there without too much issue, and it's strange because it almost feels as if, you know, the mass populace the city forgets quickly, as it seems to be business as normal. But as you get closer to the area where the last drop was, you do notice a significant decline in the street traffic, in the people. And as you approach down the street from this once popular bar in the city of Zon, you can see part of the roof is caved in, windows are boarded up, doors are boarded up. It doesn't look like, since the events that happened, gosh, only a week ago now, that anything more has been done than it just being cordoned off, and it doesn't appear as if anybody has taken ownership yet. It also strikes you as somewhat weird that nobody has, and that everything is boarded up, as opposed to being under repair.
That seems really strange. Reggie, you know, actually, nothing like, you know, somebody else hitting bottom to give another person an opportunity to take advantage of it and, you know, turn, you know, one person's trash is another person's opportunity or something like that. Look, what if you pick up this place with your connections from the council and you turn it into something like no, we don't want to do pendant pals, but like lost souls or something, you know? And you can start a whole new thing.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, that sounds pretty cool. It's pretty hip, as the kids say. But I don't really know that that's my jam. I don't know that that's what I'm looking for at this point. Would you even go there? There's bound to be lots of chairs inside.
You bolt into the ground and you're good. Look, if you had that place, I would definitely go there. Hey, Io, you think you could get us in that spot? I mean, I could punch the door open, but that might cause some attention, you know?
It's just about to ask, how are you planning to approach this building that may house a dangerous individual that you are attempting to break in and steal or destroy? Are you just casually walking down the street talking about pendant pals? What are you doing as a group?
Maybe we should duck into a corner in the shadows off to the left or something.
Yeah, I think so. Just duck aside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy enough, you're able to duck into an alley. Are you going to... Well, I leave it up to you. It's entirely up to you what you do next. So,
Well, first thing I'm going to say is I think we should avoid the roofs. I've had enough of that.
It is not our strong suit. Do we think that his laboratory, do we think we get to it by going into the last drop and poking around, or are we better served by just going through the alleyways, finding some other entrance?
If I'm recalling correctly, and I may have had a couple concussions since then, but there's like I think I remember like a little secret passageway back there, or secret kind of hidden area. So I think if we go in, we can go ahead and maybe find some access through that.
Last drop it is.
Okay.
I mean, this is Zon. You could probably just punch through the door without too many people thinking about it. Is that ridiculous?
We'll pass on punching through doors.
I don't think I have the strength.
I mean, I definitely can do it.
Yeah, you do it.
Archibald can, yes.
Yeah, yes.
But hear me out. Io, I think, you've talked about being a little sneaky and doing some, sleight of hand type of things before. Like, any good at lockpicking? Or I don't know if there's a lock on that door. Or maybe we have to, like, wedge off some of that wood, but...
I've picked a few locks in my days.
well, the door itself isn't boarded up. It's just all the windows are boarded up and part of the roof is caved in.
Yeah, maybe we try and, like... when you're sneaking out of the... Well, okay, I'll keep that to myself. But you gotta, like, open the door quietly, and it's just like... maybe we could do it without the part, and just, because what if there's someone in there? Then they're gonna hear us coming.
You are filled with so many good ideas.
That's me. The idea guy. I'm just kidding. It's not me. I just want to punch the door, and I like move the hat a little sideways and look good doing it.
Okay,
Great
so
success.
So what are you all doing?
I was going to try and pick a lock.
All right.
Okay. So as you, so are you all just moving up to the front of the last drop?
I think, yes. I was quietly and like cautiously looking around to see if there's anybody looking around. I would like to be next to Io though, like right on her back.
Okay. You can roll a perception check for me as you are approaching.
5.
Okay. So as you walk up, like I said, the traffic seems to be a little bit less here down the block on either direction, because the last drop sits at the corner of a cross section. You can see further down all 4 of the roads there is more traffic. It just almost seems like there's not as much in this particular area for some reason, which doesn't strike you as weird at all, Arch, because of your role. So Io, as you approach the door, you can go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me.
Ooh. Oh. That is a natural 20.
Okay.
20's all over the place.
That brings your total to...
Which would make my total to 22.
22. So you kind of flip your little homemade tool set out, just little pieces that you've picked up along the way, and kind of remembering some of the stuff that Callisto taught you back in your childhood, breaking into friends' houses and pulling pranks on them and whatnot. You were able to get the door to unlock without too much trouble.
Ta-da!
So impressive. I mean, I've never seen someone do that so smoothly. You're gonna have to show me how to do that.
I don't think you need that power.
You're right, I'll just punch it. Okay, let's try and creak that door open and see if we can take a peek.
You're opening the door, Arch?
Slowly.
Okay.
As quiet as I can.
Okay. You were able to open the door with no issue.
Just kind of slip on in and kind of take a quick look around.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Io is peeking their head through just very lightly.
Reggie's like leaning back just against the wall, still kind of looking around just to make sure that, you know, we're still relatively unnoticed, kind of waiting for the okay to go in.
Sure, you can make a perception check for me, Reggie. Niche, what are you doing?
Following after Arch.
Okay. So the two of you slip inside the building. Io pokes her head in. Reggie is kind of hanging out beside the door, trying to act nonchalant and looking around.
By the way, as I slip in, I'm also slipping on the brass knuckles just in case.
Okay, sounds good. Reggie, what did you get on your perception check?
18.
18. So you see Arch and Niche go in, Io kind of on the precipice, and as you're kind of looking down, you almost, it's just out of the corner of your eye, but you swear you see movement down the far side against one of the walls that is part of the last drop, but not exposed. Just a flash of something, but you're not sure what it is. But other than that, nobody seems to be paying much attention to what the four of you are doing.
Okay. I'm just gonna wait.
What do we see inside?
So inside you see, it appears as if the last battle that took place in here, that none of you would be privy to the information of, destroyed the place. The bar is completely smashed in. There is a hole on the far side around the corner that you guys did not notice that you could have just walked through. All of the tables are smashed and askew. The pool table is completely decimated, remnants of it all over the floor. The jukebox is smashed in. It doesn't look like anybody cleaned up after the large mess that was created by some type of insane battle. You can see some of the furniture seems to have been like sliced in half or into pieces by something incredibly different and sharp. You're not sure what could cut through various materials like that, but nonetheless, they lie about the floor. And there's no lights on. It is fairly dim and dark in here, but it appears to be empty.
I'll kind of walk in there and like, oh, look at this niche. I'll bend down and pick up a pool table ball, and I'm like, that's the 8-ball. That's cool. And I like just kind of throw it up and catch it. This is awesome.
I think that's the one that is unlucky if you hit it first or if you touch it too early in the game. So maybe we put that down and we focus on what we're here to do.
Sure. I already touched it though, and I'll put it in my jacket.
Sure.
Finders keepers makes sense. And Niche will put on her glove that has all of the different tools and then flick out the pin light that I think it's 10 feet of light and then 10 feet of dim. So it's not a lot of light, but it's something.
So it exposes the disaster that is the interior of this bar in greater detail, but doesn't immediately reveal anything. It's a large bar with the interior completely destroyed. There is one door beside the bar that leads somewhere, and then on the far end at the back there is another door that appears to lead somewhere else.
Would I recall which directions we went to get to kind of that like back area where I got beat up or whatever?
It would definitely be the bar door.
Okay. I'll kind of poke my head back, or I see Io's head kind of poking through, and I'll just be like, come on.
It's safe, Reginald. Come.
Well, I don't know how safe it is. I saw something over there that way. But just keep your eyes peeled. And I'll head in behind Io.
I'll close the door behind us.
I think we're going this way. And I'll head towards that door and just not fling it open, but slowly open it to see if it's locked or anything.
Sure. Door opens with no trouble. Leads to a small hallway that goes to a staircase leading up.
Is it dark in there, or can I see?
There is no light, no.
Nisha, I might need your glove. I can't see crap.
Right. Of course. And Niche will follow after, but as she's doing so, the hand with the glove that has the pin light is kind of out towards Arch. And as she's moving through the space, they are wiping fingers on surfaces, kind of smelling the finger, kind of looking closely at some of the breakages and some of the materials that got smashed or just wrecked in whatever happened. She is very specifically smelling for poison, licking her fingers, trying to identify if there's any telltale signs that Singed was here.
Sure, give me a medicine check.
All right. That is going to be 24.
24. There definitely seems to be a dust accumulation on the things that you are touching, as if nobody has been in here potentially for quite some time. You do, however, pick up a faint smell that you can't quite place. It seems to be more than just the musty smell of a place that has been unkempt for a while. It's almost like a medicinal smell, though you're not quite sure where it's coming from or what is causing it. It's very, very faint.
And Niche will just kind of think on that, try to figure out what to make of it, and then she's going to continue to walk just right behind Arch, providing the light that he needs.
So the far door leads to a hallway that's about 10 or 15 feet long, and then stairs that go up.
Just keep going.
Okay. So as you all, so it's Arch, Niche. What's the rest of the marching order?
Reggie will go at the back.
Okay.
Reggie's gonna cast a spell,
Sure.
and with the bright green runes appear and create the visor, and he's gonna create, or he's gonna cast dark vision on themselves, and gonna continuously look behind us as we go.
Okay. As you come to the top of the stairs, you're brought out into a large office space that also seems to be very unkempt. There's a large desk at the back end, couple of parlor chairs, like a little sitting area, large bookcases. Part of the roof here is caved in, but doesn't appear to be anything.
Arch will like turn and look at Niche, and you just see his like eyes are so big, and he's like, I've always wanted to do this. And I'll just like kind of run over to the big chair next to the table and like slide into the chair, throw my feet up on the table and like lean back and just be like, I am Silco. Everyone fear me and do everything I say. And then the chair falls over.
I was going to make you make a dex save anyway, as the chair kind of falls apart, as it was pretty badly damaged as well from all of the ruckus that has happened in this place in the last week or so. You're going to...
Uh-oh. He's pulling out something. I'm worried now. I told you, never trust a chair.
Maybe
You
check
take-
it for knives before sitting down. That seems to be a recurring problem.
Ow!
You're going to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as
Oh.
you kind of smack your head on the back bookcase when you topple over.
Oh man, I should have seen that coming. I kind of crawl up as I'm like down there looking. Do I see anything like hidden under the desk or anything from that like strange area or angle? As I'm just lying there with my feet.
Make
up over
an
the
investigation check for me.
chair. Oh, that's a natural 20 -1.
So 19. Put your 20s in the chat, I guess. It's a desk. Nothing interesting about the desk at all. It's a very nice desk. It's a little bit damaged, but there's nothing untoward or no secret compartments that you can see from this cursor or from this position. No buttons, nothing like that.
As Arch kind of comes up over the table, Niche, I really thought he would have like a gun hidden under here or something. Oh well, kind of get back up.
Honestly, it makes an amount of sense. Perhaps the same person. We know he was working with Casker, and we know that Casker installed all kinds of crazy bullshit at Reggie's old home, so maybe the same person did work here. We could check the walls for hidden panels or buttons.
The rest of you can roll investigation checks for me if you'd like. If you're going to spread out and search this room thoroughly. Reggie?
8.
Okay. Io?
That's a natural one.
Oh,
And Niche?
23.
oh.
Io, you see you begin to start looking in on one of the bookcases. You see a book about tarot reading, and you immediately are compelled to pull the book off the shelf and start reading it and stop searching the room entirely. Reggie, you are kind of half thumbing through. This has never been your strong suit and you're not really interested in doing it. You're just kind of acting like you're helping and hoping that somebody else notices something. Niche, you do a burglar-esque type search of this room with the accompaniment of Arch's previous 19 and find absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. There are no switches. There are no... To the best of your capabilities, as far as you know, there is nothing special about this room at all. You do see the remnants of a large tank in one corner of the room, where there is the corpse of a animal. You think it might have been a cat at one point, but you're not entirely sure, as it is in quite a state of decay, as well as several bones of a smaller rodent-like creature, as far as you can tell.
Okay, so the last drop may not have been the best idea, but I still feel like he might be nearby. Maybe we can see if there's something around here.
I'm not gonna lie. I assumed we'd end up going down, not up.
Oh,
I
Sorry,
assumed it would be underground or something.
that's a good point. I guess we can check on the first floor to see what the other doors lead to.
Unless anybody found anything in here. I didn't see anything. And I
Neither
looked
did
very
I think.
hard.
Right.
Yeah, same. Just some dust and another betrayal by another chair. Okay, let's head back.
So you're going to navigate back down to the bar area and try the other door?
Sure.
Okay. So as you go down and go to the other door, you do find this one is locked.
Oh, wait, do we want to do this quiet?
Oh, is it my turn? She snaps the book shut.
If you would.
Make a straight intelligence check for me, Io.
Okay. You're not gonna believe this. It is another natural one.
Oh, no.
Okay. Never mind.
Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I don't get to learn.
I know.
Not this time.
I don't know the secrets.
Are you going to attempt to pick the lock on this door?
Absolutely.
Sure. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Let's see. If it's another one, I swear. It's a 3.
Oh.
So as you pull your tools out and begin working on this door, you notice that two things. This lock appears to be much more difficult than the previous one, in that you are not able to fimble through the tumbles and find a way to unlatch it. But number two, this door, unlike the rest of the area around it, doesn't seem to be disturbed at all, and in fact seems possibly new.
Oh. That I know that with my 3. No dice. I cannot. We might want to break it down.
Unless anyone else wants to give it a try, I'll give it a kick.
If we're coming up on, if it is locked, perhaps we are going somewhere worth going or worth dangerous, or that is dangerous enough, right, for us that it is locked. So, give me a moment. Anish will kind of stand kind of near the group and then reach out, kind of close to putting a hand on each person, and kind of almost look to each person saying, "May I?"
Yeah.
Anytime.
And I'll remember that. Anish will close their eyes, and it takes about a minute. But over the course of this minute, kind of with each second, it's almost like Nisha's heart begins to beat louder and louder, not faster, but louder, so that Reggie and then Io and then Arch can hear this, and we see this slow and steady energy flowing out of Niche, kind of down their arms. It kind of starts in their chests, down their arms, out to their fingertips, and then into Reggie, into Io, into Arch. and it's this kind of green and then white energy, and you feel each of yourselves emboldened just a bit. You gain 12 temporary hit points each, but more importantly, you feel your own hearts beat a little bit stronger and louder in your chests. You have advantage on all Constitution saving throws and ability checks for the next hour. All right. All right. I think I'm ready. That should help a bit. If this is Singe Lair, I don't want any of us walking in and getting poisoned right off the bat.
Well, thank you.
I feel like I just did a workout, huh? This is great.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, fuck this door, and I'll give it a kick.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack.
I'm gonna use 3 summoner spells.
That'll bring you
I
to
don't know.
0.
Yeah. So let's see if the door's HP is 12.
You kick the door and you hear the metal groan as if it's about to give way, but doesn't quite. And it is quite loud.
For my action, I do have 3 attacks.
Yep.
May I kick it some more?
Of course you can.
That's another. Oh my god. Another 12. And then a. Oh, I didn't add my pluses. That 12 is actually a 16 and a 7.
Okay. So on the second kick, the third kick not required, the second kick you are able to breach the door and it flies inward, still on the hinges, though barely, and smashes against the hallway inside. Again, making quite a loud noise.
Okay, we're gonna have to move now. And then
But reveals a dark corridor with stairs leading down this time.
Niche, light, let's move. And I'll try and head down a little bit
Okay.
expediently.
Marching order?
Me first.
Second.
Second to last.
Last.
Okay. As you head down, you notice it's still kind of that like wooden built, like not super great interior as the stairs descend, but once you reach the bottom of the stairs arch, your first foot plants onto almost like stone or tile or something. And as Niche follows up behind you, reaching the landing of the stairs, the space is quite different than what you left up ahead. It is all white. It appears to be marble or tile or something, floor to ceiling. Still completely pitch dark. This room appears to be about 30 feet by 30 feet. And leads to... there's nothing in this room at all. It's completely plain with the exception of another door on the far side.
I'm concerned. This is too plain. I feel like there should be something else. Is anyone else smelling a trap? I feel like this is trap. It smells like a trap. Trap, right? Trap. I got an idea. And I take out my 8-ball and I'm going to like roll the 8-ball across the floor and roll it towards the door.
Okay, give me a strength check. Just a straight strength check.
Strength check. All right. That would be 15.
15?
Yeah.
Ball rolls across the floor, kind of stops in the middle. Nothing happens.
Good enough for me. And I'll walk towards the 8-ball.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Following.
Okay.
Following suit.
I'm still looking behind me, but I'm following.
Okay. So about as Reggie, as you catch up to the group, Arch bending down to pick up the ball and the rest kind of grouping around, you get caught up with your group when all of a sudden you hear and it appears as if from where you can see where Nisha's shining the light, in a square about 20 feet by 20 feet all around you, opens up, and these pillars, not pillars, more like pipes, like rows, like dozens and dozens of little pipes that make up a box, spring out of the floor, and they appear to have nozzles on them. And the lights come on. This entire room, it almost makes you wince, all of you, with the light coming on in this room. And you hear a voice on an intercom. My employer's name, said with haste, will stop the flames that lay to waste. And now you can see at the top of each of these little pipes, there appears to be a small flame. What would you all like to do?
Who is the voice?
It sounds like the voice of Singed.
All right, his employer. Do we think that it's Casker, or do we think it is Jericho Swain?
Casker.
Casker?
Oh, it could be Swain, but
I was gonna say Swain.
what about Silco?
No, Silco's dead. Fuck him.
As soon as you say the name Silco out loud, you hear another tss, and the pipes revert back down into the floor. The lights remain on, but
He ends up being useful for something.
Look at that, guys. My wit saved the day. I punched the smarts. All right, let's. I think that was my only one. To the door. Go towards the other door.
okay.
So Silco is employing. I guess that makes an amount of sense. Ugh.
This is his house, right? I mean, and is the other door locked?
Well, as you approach this door, you notice that though there seems to be like the frame of a door in this wall, there doesn't appear to be a handle at all. It just looks like the cutout of what a door would be.
So is it like an open doorway, or there is a
Nope.
a physical structure there?
Yep.
Okay, just no handles.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna kick it again, huh?
Do what you do best.
I wish, like, for some reason, I feel like I can't do exactly what I want to do right now. Like, there's like a little bit of, I'm having a little bit of, it's kind of embarrassing to say, a little performance issue. I feel like I could punch this stronger normally, but, and I'll go for a kick.
Go ahead.
That is a plus my stuff this time. Blues was a 26.
Okay. Roll a dexterity save for me as you throw your foot against the door and it just swings on hidden hinges. And you kind of propel yourself through this door.
10.
10? You're going to almost do the splits and take an additional 3 damage as you were expecting resistance, but there was none. And kind of fall through this door.
Ow!
Oh, are you okay?
Little help here. Try and unsplits and pull the foot back through the door. Oh, I don't recommend that.
I think perhaps this might take a bit more finesse to get through.
Okay. Yes, let's try that. In the meantime, shall we continue?
Say marching order?
Still me. Yep.
Okay. So this door pushes open into a narrow hallway made of the same like white material, and it's still bright. It's almost as if like the spaces between the tiles on these walls and on the floor and on the ceiling have like backlighting behind them. It gives it a really sterile, like medicinal, like weird vibe as you walk down this hallway. And you come to the end to a small opening, like a cylindrical room that has 3 doors So it opens up into a cylindrical room, and there's 1, 2, 3 doors.
All right, this is definitely not me. Who wants this one? Which one do we use?
Are there any identifiers anywhere? Or are there just literally 3 doors?
Just 3 doors.
That's it.
You can make an investigation check for me if you want.
Investigation is a 23.
23. It appears as if it was designed to be confusing without a lot of effort, as if the person that comes down here frequently kind of knows what they're doing. So it almost seems as if the lack of identification and whatnot might be another way to thwart somebody that would be trying to break in and of itself.
These assholes did this on purpose. I think we just have to try one. Yeah.
All right.
But
Anyone have a preference? Left, right, middle?
well, maybe it's my turn, and I'll head over to the door on the right.
Okay.
Is there a handle, or
Nope.
Reggie's just gonna lightly push on it to see if it moves?
So as you push it, it depresses a bit, and then another thing slides down, covering the door, and you and Niche and Io, not Reggie or not Arch, unfortunately, would notice. You hear another tss, and this time you look. Your eyes are all drawn up, and you see various nozzles protruding out of the ceiling of the cylindrical room, and a viscous green gas starts pouring in, and it's probably about 15 feet high, and is pouring in to come down towards filling this chamber.
Do we still have those masks?
I don't know, do you? Did you bring it with you?
Yeah.
Assuming they weren't disposable.
Right. Mask up, mask up.
Yeah, wrong door. And I'll put on my mask.
Your breathing apparatus?
Yeah.
Okay, so you all don that. Is there anything else anybody is doing at the current time?
Is there a door on the other side of this room with the gas coming down?
Yep. There's 2 other doors. So he went to push open the right door, and it turned out just to be a pressure plate that then disappeared after depressed, which started releasing this gas. So there's still the door across the hallway from where you entered, which has now closed, and another depression on the left of the hallway that you entered from.
Niche will try another one of the doors.
Which one?
Left.
Left? Okay. As you go and press it, you hear the tss, and the depression leaves again. Nozzles break out from the floor now and start filling the room with a red viscous gas that begins rising to meet the green. The green gas now reaching about head height. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Thank you, Niche.
Arch?
11.
Reggie?
I'm going to use 2 summoner spells to make it a 20.
Okay. Io?
That is a dirty 20.
Okay, and Niche.
14.
Okay. So, Arch, or sorry, Reggie and Io are going to take 2 points of poison damage. Arch and Niche are going to take 4 points of poison damage. And for the next 24 hours, all intelligence-based ability checks are going to be a disadvantage for the two of you that failed.
How often do we get to make... how often do we get to try to overcome the effects of that poison?
It would be... I would say... At the moment, you're kind of on your own because the room is still filling with 2 different types of gas. You'd have to probably get out of the predicament you're in right now to ascertain what could happen, because you don't know what breathing in this toxin for any more length of time is going to do to you. You also notice that at about this point, the green and red gases are about 10 feet away from each other.
I'll run and
All
check the
right,
door.
I don't want to find out what happens when they make brown, so we try the next door.
Okay.
Although it does make brown, doesn't it?
It would, yes.
Very appropriate time for color. So Niche goes and pushes on the door. It doesn't open, but nothing happens.
Ninja kick.
Okay, go ahead and roll
That's going to be 21.
21. There's a loud thud, and it seems to crack a little bit, but not very much. I will give everybody one more action before the gases are going to meet each other.
Niche will put a hand on Arch, or can Niche put a hand on Arch and suffuse him with power, making his heart, just like now his heart starts to kind of speed up, giving him advantage on strength checks.
Okay. Reggie or Io or Arch, you can have one action right now.
You can do it, Arch. That's what Reggie's doing.
Io?
Io is panicking.
Okay, perfect. Free action to panic.
Her action is to panic.
Okay, so she's super
To
panicking.
very silently, stare and panic.
Arch, go ahead and make a strength check this time for me, since it's at advantage rather than an attack. You think you see the way the door works like the rest, but is probably just blocked off on the other side somehow. So you're going to use a different way to leverage to try and open it.
Okay, Niche, thank you. I normally talk a lot, and I feel like I'm going at 100 miles an hour, so I don't know why I feel like I'm going even faster now. This is going to be crazy, but you know what? And I'll go and grab it with the 18.
18?
Plus 1, so it's a 19.
19, all right.
So you are able to wedge the door about halfway open. Only one of you will fit through at a time. So as you start to fit yourself through, the gases coalesce and you hear a... What's up, Io?
I want to put my cane in there. I want to put my cane, wedge it at the door.
Yep, that's fine. You're still,
keep it open.
Arch is able to get out, so Arch is going to avoid what happens next, but the gases meet, and you hear as fire erupts throughout the entire cylindrical chamber as these two gases coalesce, causing a small explosion. I will need Io and Niche to make a dexterity saving throw for me. Reggie, when this fire erupts around you, you don't feel any pain, and you look down and see that the necklace around your neck seems to be lit up, and you are unharmed. Io, dexterity save.
I am going to use 5 of my summoner spells to make it a dirty 20.
Okay. And Niche.
8.
Okay.
Can I?
What? Oh, you totally cut out. Your mic cut out there.
Oh, could I use my other 5 summoner spells towards Niche?
Sure, I'll allow it.
Nice.
Whoever gets rid of them.
Always appreciate the chat for those.
Niche, you will take 19 points of fire damage.
Oof.
Io, you will take half of that.
And you have 12 temporary hit points.
19 halved is going to be 9 points. But it kind of clears, and there doesn't appear to be any more gas. And in fact, the nozzles seem to have melted in the intense heat, and you were able to get through the door one by one at the end. Clothing singed, looking a little burnt, a little blistered. Niche and Io, Reggie comes through the door, not looking any worse for wear at all. And both Niche and Io would probably notice that. Arch, not so much.
You guys okay? That sounded bad.
It's fine. We have work to do. And Niche on the other side of the door just kind of closes her eyes, inhales, and we almost see wisps of dark energy come off of Io from where they would have almost gotten burned, and seems to be inhaled by Niche. And Niche will heal herself for all of the damage that she took.
Okay. So it looks like this hallway now, looking up, goes for about another 15 feet, and then there's an opening that opens into a much larger room.
All right. Head in there. Clanks the brass knuckles together. All right. Let's do this. And start making my way that way.
Okay.
Who, if anybody, is following, and in what order?
First.
Is still dark, or we can see?
No,
now?
it's still light.
It's
yeah,
light.
yeah.
Okay.
It's bright, super bright.
Okay. I'll go in second, and I'm just gonna be looking around for nozzles everywhere.
Sure. And then Niche or Io next. Are you following? Are you staying in the hallway, not wanting to move?
I will push Niche forward a little bit.
And
Okay.
so Niche will walk, following behind Reggie and a bit ahead of Io.
So as you come into this room, you can see it's another cylindrical room, and appears to be fairly bare. Not much going on in this room, with the exception of, as you kind of get in and look, it's a little bit taller, probably about 30 feet. And at the top of the room, you see, instead of the white panels, there appears to be a glass, it's almost like a viewing area up above. And through the glass, you can see various tables, machinery, and everything like that, looking into a bigger room up above.
Oh. How do we get up there?
That's got to be the place to go, right?
So so there's a tunnel, right? And then
Mhm.
there's the cylinder style thing, and then there's this glass roof above with all the stuff on it, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if we hide back in the tunnel and see if there's any controls? Maybe it's like an elevator that goes up and down.
All right, that's a good idea. Perhaps there's some kind of contraption that makes it work. Oh,
Yeah. Can we look around?
Head is pounding, but she'll look for contraption
Sure.
controls.
Give investigation checks.
I'll look too.
21.
Arch,
4.
Reggie,
11.
Io,
13.
and you said 21. So none of you really immediately notice anything, but you do notice, Niche, that there appears to be another depression that looks like it could be a door directly below the glass if you're looking out across the room.
Toss my 8-ball around.
Every time we've stepped on one of those, it's been bad, but maybe this one will be less shit. And Niche will point at the...
Because you were all in the hallway and you're pointing across the
Yeah.
room to the... So what are you all doing?
I'm gonna try and chuck my 8-ball at the, baseball style at the plate.
Roll me...
Oh no!
Are you... Well, this is an improvised weapon. Roll me a attack just using your strength modifier at disadvantage.
So you get a +1.
Straight checks. I get a +1. That's right.
Yeah, just
So-
strength modifier, no proficiency bonus.
Okay, so I rolled a 17 plus my strength. That is where's my strength? Oh, it's a 0. Crap. +1, 18.
So you whip this cue ball and it bounces off the door outline, leaving a small dent and just falling to the ground.
Damn it! I really thought that was gonna work. All right, guys, avenge my death, and I'm just gonna run towards it. And
Is anybody else doing anything?
Oh no!
Oh no.
I was taking a quick step back.
Yes.
So the three of you are staying in the hallway while Arch runs across this cylindrical room?
I have put too much effort into keeping you alive. You honestly have no idea how much work has gone into you. And Niche does end up taking a few steps forward.
Okay. As Arch reaches the far side of the room and Niche steps in, the two of you staying in the hallway, door slides over the hallway entrance, locking the four of you separate from each other in two groups of two. And that's when you hear a intercom click on. This is very interesting. And Arch, as you get to the door and begin trying to hit it or something, you notice out of your peripheral and Niche, you see it straight on, a figure standing at the window above. Well, it seems as if I need to increase what could happen to people who tried to break in here. No matter. I've got some things to test out on you. And you see Singed kind of walk over to a control panel that appears to be on the far side and click in a couple digits, and the far door slides open again in the hallway. The two of you, come join your friend. Friends. I promise I won't hurt. It's just a test.
But you'll walk in.
Oh. There's a face I have not seen in quite a long time. Reginald, my old friend, it is good to see you.
Yes, old friend.
Oh, you're not still angry about what happened back then. It was in the pursuit of science, Reginald. Look at what everything we've accomplished since then.
What have we accomplished?
Well, I don't know about you per se, but I have had leaps and bounds in my science since we last interacted all those years ago. Shimmer was good, but there's probably something better I could make. So it's the four of you then, is it? Io, sorry, did you come into the chamber as well, or are you staying in the hallway?
Io kind of sneaks in,
Okay.
and poking her head out.
I'm surprised that you got out of Stillwater. How did you manage that? You were supposed to be there until the reclamation was over.
It was luck.
Roll me a deception check, Arch.
Deception. 16.
16. I am going to use
Summoner points.
4 of my summoner spells to make that a 20.
It's alright, we got to use some points.
Are you sure it wasn't her sister? And points towards Io.
You have a
Me?
sister?
I don't have a sister.
It's going to be that kind of company you're keeping these days, Reginald. Very well. I believe it's this sister, if you must say, and clicks a couple more keys on a program, and around the way, probably about 2/3 of the way down the room, a panel slides open, revealing another window, and you can see Callisto standing there with her rifle in her hand. Veins protruding through her face, her arms, her neck. Not the purple of shimmer that Arch you would have seen previously, but a caustic red, as if the veins are just bulging out. Well, I've had much more luck with this. It is a new serum. It will work much better. Unfortunately, I don't have time to play with you right now. The captured devices will get all of the intel I need. I have to go tell Swain that we are compromised. And kind of looks over to Callisto. Have fun with them. Don't take too long.
Before he leaves, I want to use my cognitive empathy to attempt to read it.
His thoughts or Callisto's?
Snows.
Callisto's? What is the save again?
One moment here. It is a charisma saving throw. It is a DC 16.
I will use the last of my summoner spells to hit the 60. Singe kind of gives a little salute to you, Reggie. Change is coming, my friend. You can either be a part of it or be buried by it. And you see him step away, and the reflective surface of the glass blocking Callisto slides open, and she immediately brings the rifle up. I will give everybody one reaction if you would like to take one.
I will reach in my side holster and pull out the revolver and point it up, and I'm just going to be laser focused and thinking what Nemo had taught me about shooting and saying about breathing, focusing, take aim, be patient. And I'm going to try and aim just for her hand to see if there's any way I can shoot to maybe see if I could get her to drop the rifle.
Okay. Reggie?
Reggie would like to back out of the room again.
Okay. Io? Or actually,
Io.
Niche first, sorry.
Is the door are we sealed in to this area, or are we able to retreat?
You could retreat back down into the tunnel if you wanted. Given your engineering expertise, you would be aware that the trajectory that she has up there looking down and into the room gives her line of sight, knowing and seeing how good of a shot she has been when she was with you. She could probably still hit you in that tunnel, maybe even the room beyond.
And then Niche looks up to that, like, almost like that room or that platform that Singed was on. What's their best guess? Is that potentially where these blueprints are, or these items are that Heimerdinger's asked us to look for?
It would appear as if the area up there is the main part of the laboratory, and that different types of tests have been used in this room, and it could also be another measure of safety to the individuals in the laboratory itself.
After having been in the room for a little bit longer, seeing Singed exit, and then also seeing this panel open to allow Callisto to enter, does there appear to be a way to get up there from where the group is now?
Your best bet would be the depression that looked like a door directly below the glass that you haven't really had the time or ability to investigate how to open properly.
So Niche's action will be to dash towards that depression.
Okay.
And move 70 feet towards it.
Okay. Yeah, you can reach it easily. Io, what would you like to do?
Io is going to pull out that communication device, hit the button. Callisto, is that you? Does she hear the other one?
You would hear it go off on her person, yes.
She gets her pistol, aims right at her sister.
Okay. Arch?
Don't do this.
Make a persuasion check for me. Arch, you can take your shot. Reggie, you retreat back into the tunnel. What'd you get, Arch?
21.
Okay. Io? What was your persuasion?
That is a 24.
24. Arch, as you pull the trigger, your shot looking like it's going to ring true, based off of what Nemo had told you, you see her just tilt her head to the side, and the bullet kind of whizzes past her head and slams into the hallway behind her, and she pops off a shot at you, Arch.
Yeah.
The natural 20. And as she goes to flip around to shoot at you again, Io freezes. So the shot on Arch is going to 22 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then she freezes, and Io, you can see her tail on the trigger, a tear rolling down her cheek. I can't
You can. Don't Don't do this.
After what seems like the longest minute of your life, the gun drops from her hand and she drops to all fours and vomits. And this blood-like liquid comes out from her mouth. And she kind of wipes her mouth and looks up and... Oh. I don't know what it is with you and your mind, Io, but holy shit. Oh, I got a headache. Oh, what's happening? Where the fuck am I? And she kind of looks down and sees, Arch, you're probably bleeding quite profusely from a shoulder shot. Oh, shit. Okay, where the fuck are we?
Ew just runs up to her.
She's like 20 feet above you. Yeah. Yeah.
As close as she can.
Yeah, so
to
you
look
run
at.
to the bottom and see like this red viscous liquid like starting to drip down the side of the wall from where she is up top. God, I feel like shit. Where are we? What is this?
We're not safe.
Well, no fucking shit, sis. What? The last thing I remember, I was at the Hex Gate, getting ready to go somewhere. Was it Shrima? Bilgewater? I can't remember now. Where are we? Are we still in? Are we in Piltover? Are we in Zon? I've never seen this place before.
We're going to try and come up to you, and Niche probably meets the plate, and we'll slam a foot down on it to see what happens.
Okay. As you do that, she kind of looks around and, oh, maybe I can help. And you see her disappear back down the tunnel. After a moment, you can hear some noise on the other side of the door plate that you're in front of, Niche, and it seems you hear like a muffled like, oh, see, and after a second you hear a and the door slides open, revealing Callisto on the other side. This place is fucking cool. I mean, I don't like it. I feel like crap, but this is pretty cool.
Yeah, feel like crap. Right.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm a really good shot.
The best shot I ever made, and I still missed you. Whatever. And I put the gun away.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry about that, Arch.
That's all right.
I mean, I saved your life before, so like we're kind of does that make us even? If I save your life, I get to shoot you. Is that how that works?
If that's how that works, and I just kind of look around at everybody. Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Okay, so nobody's even told me still where the fuck we are.
We're in Singe's laboratory. He's a absolute shitbag, but you probably have already figured that out. And Nisha's shoving past Callisto, moving into the laboratory, and is just immediately trying to go to work, understanding their surroundings. And we need to look for a couple of things and take them back.
Shit.
Yeah.
I must have been blown. They must have figured out that I helped you the other night. I know who Singed is. He was working with Casker and this new guy, Swain. He showed up. Madara's mom has kind of taken over things at the moment, and then this Swain guy showed up, and she disappeared. And he said he was now in command, and the Madara was the only council member that survived the attack. And she said that this Swain guy was going to help bring about a better future for Piltover and Zon. And I just follow orders. I was just a soldier, so I never. Fuck.
They said the
that's
same
bad,
thing.
eh?
They landed on the shores of Ionia with their bullshit. I'm not buying. Well, didn't buy it then. Don't buy it now.
All I know, I don't know what that stuff was, but all I remember is waking up and seeing all of you and knowing that I had to kill you. But then that voice got into my head, and she just walks over and embraces you, Io.
Io embraces her back and says, I almost shot you.
Yeah, just like you almost shot me all those times when we were playing when we were younger. Come on. And kind of backs off and like ruffles your hair a little bit and starts following Niche upstairs.
She just pouts.
Are the three of you doing anything else, Arch, Reggie, or Io?
Arch would run next to Niche real quick and just like with the pistol in hand, just kind of be like, so you saved my life. Do you want to take your shot now or later? Since that's how that works, right? I'm just kidding. Later. And I put it away and I'll start helping look for stuff.
This 2 light bulb arch is interesting. It's just, right, we have other things to do. Ugh. Let's work.
What are we looking for? I could probably help out a little bit. Find something cool.
Niche will then begin to describe the blueprints that she saw from Heimerdinger to the best of her ability, talking about the trigger mechanisms, kind of the arcane motherboards, all of the different mechanical contraptions that were a part of it. They'll talk about how it's probably maybe cased in different types of shells, but describes the overall components of what they expect to find.
Okay. As this laboratory is now empty, I'm only going to get each one of you to roll percentile dice.
Oh.
As you were able to take your time and do a thorough search, Wayne thinking that you were easily dealt with by the marksman and returning to Piltover. Arch, whenever you're ready.
57.
Okay. Reggie?
55?
55?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys rolled that close to each other.
That's
eh?
cool.
Io?
22.
2. And Niche.
87.
Okay, so you are able to find a prototype that looks like a Arch. Sorry, you find a prototype that, or a device that was sort of described to you by Niche and by Heimerdinger. It appears to be a sphere, a blue sphere wrapped in gold coil with what looks like antenna on either end. Reggie, you are able to find a couple documentation blueprints. Io, you find what appears to be some sort of scanner or device, some type of electronic device. You're not sure, but it was in a locked drawer that you were able to pick during your search and pull it out and find. And then Niche, you are able to find what appears to be some type of miniature warhead. That was one of the devices that was listed among the required documents.
Well, this is probably not going to fit in my fanny pack so well, so...
I mean, it's fairly small. Like, it's probably only about 1.5 feet long by 4 or 5 inches in diameter.
Oh. In that case, Niche will, like steal something that looks like a bag from
Yeah, easy enough to find. And after a while, Callisto comes up to you as well and hands you a stack of folders. I don't know. These kind of fucking look important. There's drawings and stuff on them and notes and maybe good. Okay, so if I'm blowing and we're kind of screwed, what do we do? What's the next step? Where do we...
Is that device still in you? Do you know where it is?
Do I look like a fucking scientist to you? Or,
Do you
I got a
remember
big
when
gun.
They tagged you?
I don't remember how I got here. How would I remember how they fucking tagged me? A lot of things have happened in the last couple of years, Niche. I don't know if you know, I'm kind of a covert ops. I do a lot of bad stuff for the good of what I thought was like your guys' cities. I don't know.
Can you do any medical mumbo jumbo to identify, where the entry point might be?
I don't know, maybe. And Niche kind of like, I don't think they have a lot of experience with this type of technology, but she kind of gives Callisto a once-over, trying to think, could I identify where on her body?
Give me a
this-
computers
because we-
check.
Okay. It's at disadvantage because Niche has a awful pounding poison headache.
Yep.
Hey! But an 18 and a 19 on the die.
Yeah.
Damn.
Plus 8, giving a 26.
So you're kind of going over her, doing a very thorough search, and you do notice there appears to be a small scar just below her tricep on the left arm. And you ask her about it, and she's like, I get scars all over the place, but this one it doesn't seem like it seems too measured. Like it's like the approximation, it looks like a proper slit where something was inserted and then healed quickly. But so much so that the scar is almost gone, but it's just a little bit of discoloration.
You alright if I cut you open a little bit?
She kind of like looks at Io.
Do you want to watch?
You sure you trust these people?
I do, explicitly.
Okay. And you guys find like a table, and she kind of like sits down and positions her arm where she can do it and where you can do it, and grabs like a cloth of some type out of her bag to bite down on. Hurry up.
So dramatic.
Go.
And
Ow!
Niche will flip out
Nope.
essentially a scalpel from her multi-tool set, make a pretty precise incision, and then jam
Yep, give me a medicine check.
tweezers in there. All right. Which is also at disadvantage, which is... Oh, but these dice love that I'm doing this right now. 23.
23?
Yes.
Yeah. So you are able to fish out this little pill-like looking device that has a red blinking light on it.
And Niche will set it down on the table, flip the scalpel blade back into her glove, and then there's this large copper plate in the center of it, and Niche kind of flexes her hand, it charges up with energy, and then she'll shock the...
Wound?
she'll put like a
The
electric
incision
shock
point?
on that
Oh.
chip,
Okay.
using the stunning electric
Oh, right,
discharge
okay.
from the glove.
Roll me... You know, you don't have to roll anything. You hit it with it, and you see the red light blink faster and then dim and go out.
All right, you're good. And
Okay.
just for good measure, I guess I can seal you back up too.
Oh, yeah, I don't really want to fucking bleed everywhere. That'd be cool. So now what? What do we do? How do we... So these guys are bad, is what you're telling me? I've been on the wrong side?
Very.
Fuck. Okay, so how do we kill him? Or where do we kill him? Are we gonna go kill him? We should go kill him. What do you guys think?
Kill him. Definitely. Kill him. Dead.
Okay, my head still hurts real bad. Can we go sleep first and then kill him, maybe? Do we have time? What's our timeline like here? What's going on?
We need to get
we've
these
got
back to Heimer.
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're done here.
Okay, lead the way. And you see, are we going out in public? Are we going on the, in the streets? Okay, give me 1 second. You see her tail, like, flip her gun up, and she, like, very quickly and methodically, like, disassembles this giant sniper rifle that she keeps on her back and, like, folds it into a side pack. She's like,
While
all
she's
right.
doing that, Arch takes the revolver and he's like messing with it, and all the bullets fall out of the revolver. Oh shit! And then he goes down and like tries to pick it up, and I'll deal with that later.
You sure you trust these people, Io? I know I'm asked it. Like, she seems, and like points at Niche. She seems pretty good, but you got like an old. Oh wait, no, the old dude did a lot of fire stuff. That was pretty cool. That was pretty
And this guy's good with his hands.
cool. Is that like a sexual thing, or because like I just saw what he did with the revolver and that. Oh, okay. Let's go.
Is that
Let's
what
get the fuck out of
Penny's
here.
Pals is? Is that what? And Niche leans back over to Io. Is that what I was not picking up on earlier?
Maybe it was. Maybe it was.
Reggie's just gonna blush.
Arch just kind of like tips his head and he's like, the answer to all your questions is yes. Okay, we should move.
As you make your way back out, having very little difficulty doing so, through the streets of Zon and into the sewer system that leads to the Firelight encampment, as you begin to get within the neighborhood, Niche and Io, you begin to detect a slight smell of smoke. As if there's a fire burning somewhere distant.
Now I wonder if we should go towards that smoke smell. Or away. Io says out loud.
I get the terrible suspicion that is
I smell it too.
Singed dealing. Yeah.
We should probably fucking hurry, eh?
Let's go
Yeah.
towards it.
As you increase speed and work your way through this system, you come out into the large Firelight encampment to find the tree in the center of the room ablaze. Bodies strewn about on the grounds all around. And that is where our match is going to end tonight.
Okay, but how dare you a little bit?
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
Just a little bit?
Just
It's
little
not
bit,
a lot
pretty
of
much
it.
all the way.
Thank you so much, everybody who tuned in to Become Legend tonight. Don't forget about the amazing cast that we have. The fumbling Arch played by the wonderful Friggins. The fireman played by Reggie, played by the awesome Kay Jure. The always ready for action Io, played by the incredible Kim Grimm. And the extremely resourceful Niche, played by the wonderful Sarah L. Kinney. You can catch us for 2 more episodes after tonight as we approach the season finale of Become Legend. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the YouTubes and leave us some comments. We are so appreciative of you all watching. And until our next match, as our champions continue to rise and become legend, We'll see you next time.